All right, good afternoon. Happy Friday. Um, let's go ahead and get started just standing. We'll do a few shoulder rolls to get started. So just start going back. Arms can be nice and straighter. Get a little bit bigger with those circles. Let's start to do those arms involved. We'll get bigger and bigger. Just opening up through that chest, the shoulders, as big as you like with those circles. Good, and then we'll reverse it. So now let's go forward, just starting with the shoulders. And then we'll start to get the arms involved. And then make those really big circles. Good, now bring those arms out to a T. We're gonna cross that right arm across. The left arm hooks, grabs it. So notice if the shoulder starts to hike up, pull that shoulder down. And you can kind of pulling that shoulder blade back a little bit. It's not really gonna move a whole lot, but just kind of that motion. And core stays nice and tight. And then pull that arm back. So you're feeling that nice stretch. That rear deltoid. So right back here, and then to that tricep. Another breath. And switch, arms out to a T. Bring it across again. Draw that shoulder down as we hug that elbow in, that arm in. Couple more breaths. And go ahead and release that arm, interlacing those fingers behind the back. So we're going to interlace those fingers so those palms are facing each other. Pull those knuckles down first, and those hands can come away from those hips, keeping that core really tight. So we want to be arched through that back. Keep that core tight, protecting that low back. And we'll sweep those hands over to that right shoulder, dropping that right ear to the shoulder, just starting by looking forward and then pulling that head back a tiny bit. We'll bring that head up. Let's switch sides. Hands come over to that left hip, and left ear drops to that left shoulder. And bring it back up one more time each side. Over to that right side, drop that ear down first, and then we'll look down towards. Find those right toes. And then look forward, and then bring that head up to the other side. Hands come to that left hip, dropping that ear down. And then maybe look, finding the left toes. And then look forward and lift the head. And bring the knuckles to the center, pull the hands down, and again, reach those arms back. And then release it up, flat back. As we fold, bring those hands to the shins, lengthen on that inhale, and exhale, fold forward. Just let that head hang heavy. Give it maybe a little sway from side to side. And then we'll lengthen out, bring those hands to the shins, bend into that right knee, twist, the left arm reaches up. We'll lower that hand down, we'll go to the other side, bending into that left knee, right arm reaches up. Lower that hand down as we fold. And lift and lengthen. And plant those hands. Go ahead and step those feet back to a plank. And we're going to add in a push up here. So we're going to lower shoulders high to the elbows. Press it back up, drop those heels to the right. Left arm reaches up. Bring it back to our front plank push-up. So in this push-up, you can meet on the knees, lower, back up, dropping the heels to the left. Right arm reaches up. And bring it back to our front plank. And then send those hips up. Downward facing dog, pedaling those feet. Let's go ahead and lower onto those knees. Okay, we're going to keep those toes tucked under. Just bring those feet maybe a little bit close together, a little bit narrower than hip distance apart. Now, we don't want the ankles bowing out. We want those ankle bones going straight up. And then we'll sit back onto those feet. So maybe you keep your hands in front of you. This takes a little bit of the weight off of the feet. Maybe hands on the shins or on your thighs, or maybe you sit all the way on those feet. Big, big stretch through those toes, through the arches. One more breath. And lower those hands down. Let's just tap those feet. Maybe give a little wiggle with those toes, circle those ankles. And let's send those hips back up, down dog. We'll step those feet back up to the hands. Lengthen out, so bring those hands to the shins, flatten out that back. Bend into that right knee twist. Left arm reaches up. And down. Other side, bend into the left knee. Right arm reaches up. And lower it down as we fold. Again, we'll plant those hands, step those feet back to our plank. Push up. Side plank. Front plank. Push up. Side plank. Right arm up. Back to that front plank. And send those hips up into that down dog. We'll skip that toe stretch this time around. If you want it, you got a second to do it. Feel free to. And now inhale on those toes. Step those feet, top of the mat. Half lift, inhale. I bend into that right knee, twist the left arm up. Then lower, other side, bend into left knee, right arm reaches up. Lower the hands down. Step it back to our plank. Push up, side plank to the right. Push up, side plank to the left. Front plank. Now let's hold this front plank. We're going to do mountain climbers, but we're going to cross one. So right knee is going to go to that left wrist or tricep. So here we go. A little bit slower. So we'll go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Plank. And hips up. Down dog. Let's step that right foot to that right thumb. Inhale those arms up. Keep that core nice and tight. Bend into that front knee. You're going to be a little bit more explosive. So maybe get you guys up and moving this afternoon. Okay, so bring those hands to your hips. Okay, we're in that lunge position. We're going to drive this left leg, knee up. So we'll come kind of a single leg mountain is the yoga pose. So here, drive, knee up, back into that lunge. Knee touches the ground. Okay, drive it up and down. Now, if we just want to step our feet forward, that's fine too. And if it's too low to get that back knee touch the ground, just modify as needed. So I think that was 2 of them. Lots to count here. Let's go 3. Let's do 4 or 2 more. 4. Ooh, balance. And 5. Step it back. Arms reach up. Hold it here. Then straighten that front leg out. We'll come high onto that back heel. Keep those hips square. Keep that core tight. Try and reach up as long as you can. Reach it forward and then lower those hands down to the ground or to the shin. That hamstring's a little bit tight. And then inhale, reach it back up and lower the hands down. Step it back to the down dog. We'll go to the other side. So that left foot is going to step that left thumb. Rise on up, keeping that core tight. And then let's bring those hands to the hips on the first one. We'll just go straight up first into it, and then we'll go back into the ground. So ready? Here we go. Drive. and back knee touches. Up, 2, down, 3, down, 4, down, 5. Step it back, hold it here. Big bend into that front knee, core tight. And then we'll straighten that front leg high onto that back toe. So here's a toe stretch in itself. Reach it forward, hands down to the mat. And maybe to the shin, keeping that flat spine. And inhale, bring those arms up, back to that lunge. And then hands down, step it back to our plank, Vinyasa. And then hips up, downward facing dog. So come onto the toes. We're going to step those feet behind the hands. Since we're being a little bit more explosive today, we're going to throw in some little baby squat jumps. Now, if you just want to do regular squats, that's fine too. So our arms are going to be involved here. So arms are going to go back as we sink down into that squat, and then we'll come up, just a little jump, right back down. So up, right back down. If you want to jump as high as you can, that's fine. If you just want to do that little baby jump, that's fine too, or just stay in the squats. We got 2 more. Last one. Good. Stick it, hold. Maybe you drop those hips a little lower, pressing those elbows into those knees, gripping those toes. Let's go. 3, 2, and 1. Fold it forward. Sway those hips. Let's plant those hands. Step those feet back to a plank. Those crisscross mountain climbers. So right knee, left elbow. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Down dog. Stepping that right foot to the right thumb. Inhale. Reach those arms up first, and then we can bring those hands to the hips. Let's drive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Step it back. Ooh, balance. Here we go. Reach those arms up, and then come on up. Straighten the front leg and fold. Now just from there, plant those hands. Step it back to down dog. Other side, stepping that left foot to that left thumb. Inhale, reach those arms up. Bend into that front knee. Hands to the hips. Here we go. Drive that knee up. 1. Tap that knee. 2, 3, 4, 5. Step it back. Arms reach up. And straighten that front leg. Fold. Another breath. Then we'll plant those hands. Step that foot back. Let's move through that vinyasa. So plank, lower. Lift that chest. Stretch out those hip flexors. And then exhaling, hips to the sky, down dog. 2 our squats. Feet behind the hands. Toes out, heels in. Okay. Let's go and rise on up. Swing those arms back as we load those hips. Jump. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Jump and stick. Hold as low as you can for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Straighten those legs. Fold. Now from here, take a big step back with that left foot. Lower that knee down. Pressing those hips forward, twisting, reaching that right arm up. You can start to bend that back knee, reaching for that foot, or maybe just keeping this shape. You want to get that quad stretch. Pull that rib cage down, gently pressing that foot into the hand and pulling that foot towards you. Go ahead and release that foot. We want to walk that foot out, the right foot out a little bit wider so you have room for your hands and your shoulders inside the leg, and then lower onto the forearms. Keep that nice flat back. And then come back to the hands. Straighten that front leg, pull those toes back. And then we'll rebend that knee, step it back, down dog. And then bring that left foot outside that left hand, back knee down. Hips are pressing forward. Then we'll bend into that back knee as we twist, reaching that left arm up. And maybe you find that foot, gently pressing that foot into the hand. And then pull that foot a little bit closer to you. Go ahead and release that foot down, lower onto those forearms. Lengthen through that spine. And come back to those hands. Send it back to that down dog. Let's lower onto those knees so the knees can come a little bit wider. Toes get them together. Let's press the hips back, rest that head down into that child's pose. Let's relax it here for a breath or two. And then come back onto those hands and knees. Bring those knees to the right underneath the hips. We're going to walk those hands forward, spread those fingers out, press into the palms, bring those forearms towards each other as we soften that head down, gripping the fingertips into the mat and pulling back. So we're trying to pull those shoulders back into the sockets, stabilizing through the shoulders as we find that big stretch through the shoulders and through the upper back. And then come onto those hands. Roll over onto your back. So with the knees bent, cross that right ankle over that left thigh. Hug the knees in. We'll flex that right foot, maybe grabbing onto the shin, left shin, maybe the hamstring. Tailbone down, chest is lifting. And then release, switching sides. Left ankle over that right thigh. tailbone down as we pull that knee in. And go ahead and release. And uncross it. Let's bring right ankle over the left knee and then drop the knees over to that right side. That left arm reaches out. Bring it back up, switching sides, and drop those knees over to the left side as that right arm reaches out. And bring those knees back up, uncross it. Hug the knees in. Let's rock up to a seat. Let's cross those legs, sit tall. Pause for a few breaths. Roll those shoulders down. Just finding a little bit of calm as we go on with the rest of our day, rest of our weekend. And then blink those eyes open. All right. Thank you all so much. Have a great Friday. And I will see you guys tonight for our HIIT class. All right. Have a good one.